When we talk about things that should never be sacrificed, I think one of the most fundamental and often overlooked is our self-worth. This is the baseline, the starting point for how we see ourselves and, consequently, how others see and treat us. Now, self-worth is one of those things we hear about all the time, right? But I wonder if we truly understand what it means to value ourselves, to keep that sense of self-respect intact, regardless of who we're around or what they expect of us. Think of it like a house built on a solid foundation. If that foundation starts to crack, everything else, our happiness, our sense of purpose, our relationship, starts to shake as well. Self-worth, in that sense, is the foundation of everything. It's the quiet strength that tells us I am enough as I am, and that we don't need to twist, shrink, or expand ourselves to fit someone else's expectations. So many of us have sacrificed pieces of this foundation in subtle ways without even realizing it. We do it in little moments, saying yes when we mean no, laughing along when something doesn't sit right with us, or holding back when we know we should speak up. These small acts can chip away at that foundation. Let's think about why that happens. Many times it's because we want to be accepted. We want to be loved, appreciated, respected. But here's the catch: when we sacrifice our self-worth for someone else's approval, we lose something even more valuable than their acceptance. We lose our own respect. And without that, it doesn't matter how many people approve of us, we still feel something's missing. We start to feel unfulfilled, maybe even resentful, because deep down we know that we're not being true to ourselves. Imagine a situation where you keep lowering your boundaries to make someone else happy, perhaps in a relationship or at work. At first it seems like a small price to pay for harmony or peace. But over time, each compromise erodes a part of your self-worth. You begin to question yourself, wonder if you're good enough, or if you need to do even more to be accepted. That's a slippery slope, because soon we don't even recognize the person we're becoming. We're just a shadow of who we once were, a version that's constantly accommodating others at the expense of our own needs and values. And self-worth isn't something that can be regained overnight. It's like trust. It takes time, patience, and often a lot of effort to rebuild. When we sacrifice it, even temporarily, we're not just compromising. In the moment, we're giving away pieces of ourselves that can take years to reclaim. Each time we stand up for ourselves, respect our own boundaries, and acknowledge our worth, we're reinforcing that foundation. It's telling ourselves, I matter too. There's this beautiful shift that happens when we start to honor our self-worth. We begin to attract people and opportunities that align with our true selves. Think about it. If you're constantly sacrificing who you are to be accepted, then the people who are drawn to you aren't really drawn to you. They're drawn to you. They're drawn to the person you're pretending to be. But when you stand firm in your self-worth, you start to attract those who value and respect you for exactly who you are, without conditions. One of the most powerful realizations is that we don't need anyone else to validate our worth. It's a journey, of course, a process of letting go of the need for external approval and turning inward to realize that we are enough as we are. Imagine waking up every day knowing that no matter what anyone says or does, your self-worth is intact. It's this quiet, unshakable confidence that can carry you through the highs and lows, the approval and disapproval, because you know that your value isn't up for debate. So if there's one thing I want you to remember from today, it's this: your self-worth is yours. It's not something to be negotiated or compromised. Hold on to it. Honor it, because at the end of the day, it's the one thing that no one else can give you or take away from you. Another thing I believe we should never sacrifice, no matter what, is our inner peace. Think about it. Inner peace is what keeps us grounded. It's the calm center in the middle of all life's storms, big or small. And yet this is one of the first things we give up when we're trying to keep other people happy or meet their expectations, we find ourselves stretched thin, mentally exhausted, maybe even emotionally drained, all because we're trying to carry the weight of someone else's emotions or opinions. Now, inner peace isn't just a feel-good term. It's not something reserved for those who sit on mountaintops in silent meditation. Inner peace is practical. It's real. It's something we can feel in the day-to-day moments of life. It's that feeling of stillness when you're okay with who you are, when you don't feel the need to react to every provocation or be drawn into every drama that unfolds around you. It's a state of being that, once you have it, changes everything. Yet so many of us trade it away at the slightest request or expectation from others. Why is that? Sometimes it's because we feel responsible for the emotions of the people around us. We worry about upsetting someone, so we bend. We try to control every aspect of a situation to avoid conflict. We lose sleep, stressing over every possible outcome. And in doing so, we sacrifice our own peace of mind. I think part of this stems from a fear of letting go of not being able to predict every response or outcome. But the truth is, we can't control everything, and more importantly, we shouldn't try. There's a freedom that comes with realizing that we don't have to manage everyone else's experience. Let me put it this way. Imagine you're standing by a calm lake. The surface is so still it reflects the sky perfectly. That lake is your mind when it's at peace. But as soon as someone throws a rock into the water, maybe it's a criticism, an argument, a demand, the ripples disturb the surface. And if you're always reacting, always trying to fix or change everything around you, then the surface never settles. But here's the thing: you don't have to react to every rock that's thrown. You can observe, respond calmly, and let the ripples settle naturally without disturbing your core peace. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or disconnecting from reality. It means knowing what deserves your attention and energy and what doesn't. It's about recognizing that sometimes the best way to address chaos is with calm. When you learn to preserve your peace, you find that you become more effective in handling challenges. Your mind isn't clouded by 1,000 concerns. It's focused, clear, and capable of making the best decisions. Another important part of protecting inner peace is setting boundaries. That might mean saying no without guilt or stepping back from situations that consistently bring you stress or negativity. It might even mean taking a moment each day to just breathe, to reconnect with yourself. Because here's the truth: the more at peace you are with yourself, the less other people's actions or words can disrupt you. There's a saying that peace is not the absence of chaos, but the presence of calm within it, and that's exactly what we're aiming for. Life is full of disruptions, pressures, and unexpected events. But peace is about cultivating an internal space that isn't dependent on what's happening around us. It's knowing that no matter how chaotic things get, we can return to that still place within ourselves. Think about the power in that. When you refuse to sacrifice your peace, you stop reacting out of fear or insecurity. You respond from a place of strength. You become a source of calm for others as well. People can sense it when you're at peace with yourself. They're less likely to bring unnecessary drama your way because they know you're not going to feed into it. So remember this: your inner peace is precious. Protect it, cultivate it, and never hand it over to anyone or anything that doesn't value it. Peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And when you hold on to it, you'll find that it serves as a foundation for everything else in your life. Next, let's talk about authenticity, being true to ourselves, even when it's not easy or convenient. Authenticity is about staying connected to who we really are beneath the layers of what people expect or want from us. It's a powerful thing to live from this space of truth, because it means we're not hiding, not pretending, and not bending just to fit someone else's mold. But think about how often we find ourselves putting on a facade to fit in, to be liked, to keep the peace, or to avoid judgment. It's something we all do from time to time, maybe at work, with friends, or even with family. We might laugh at jokes that don't resonate, nod along to opinions that don't align with ours, or even make choices that go against our values, just to avoid conflict or disappointment. This may keep things smooth on the surface, but deep down it comes at a cost. With each compromise of our authenticity, we chip away at our sense of self. It's like carrying a heavy bag full of other people's expectations and opinions. Each time we say yes when we mean no, or smile when we feel like frowning, that bag gets heavier. And eventually, if we don't put it down, it can feel like a burden too great to bear. Living inauthentically doesn't just weigh on our hearts and minds, it drains our energy, makes us second-guess ourselves, and distances us from the life we actually want to live. Let's take a moment to imagine a life lived fully, unapologetically, and authentically. A life where we show up as ourselves without pretense or apologies. Imagine making decisions not from a place of fear or obligation, but from a place of deep alignment with our values and desires. What would it feel like to be so grounded in our truth that no matter what anyone else thinks, says, or expects, we stay unwavering? Now, living authentically doesn't mean ignoring the people around us or disregarding their feelings. It means having the courage to speak our truth respectfully, to honor our own needs while also respecting others. It's about striking a balance, finding a way to be honest and true without needing to be hurtful or dismissive. And yes, it can be challenging, especially if we've been accustomed to molding ourselves to fit in or please others. But authenticity invites respect not just from others, but from ourselves. When we live authentically, we also open up the possibility of attracting people who appreciate us for who we genuinely are. It means we're no longer wasting time or energy on relationships or situations that don't resonate. Instead, we begin to create a life that is in harmony with our core values and our deepest desires. People can feel authenticity. It's a magnet for those who value truth, depth, and sincerity. And the connections we make from this space are stronger, more fulfilling, and more sustainable. Sometimes people might not understand or even resist our authenticity. They might have been comfortable with the version of us that catered to their needs, that played small, or that stayed silent. But in the end, we're not here to live someone else's version of our life. We're here to live our own. And while it might feel uncomfortable to stand alone in our truth sometimes, there is a deep sense of peace that comes from knowing we're living in alignment with ourselves. In a world that often pressures us to conform, choosing authenticity is an act of courage. It's declaring that we're worthy of being seen and heard exactly as we are, with all our strengths, flaws, and unique perspectives. It's understanding that our individuality is valuable, and that we don't need to change it to fit someone else's vision. Embracing our authenticity is how we contribute something real and meaningful to the world. It's how we leave our own unique mark. So as we go through life, let's remember that our authenticity is not something to be sacrificed. It's a guiding light, a source of strength, and a compass that keeps us on our true path. Let's hold on to it, nurture it, and let it shine. And as we do, let's allow it to inspire others to embrace their own unique truth as well. Now let's reflect on the importance of our mental peace, something so essential yet often sacrificed in the noise and demands of daily life. Mental peace is a foundation for well-being, for clear thinking, for a sense of fulfillment and purpose. It's a state of balance, of inner quiet, that allows us to connect deeply with ourselves and with the world around us. And yet, how often do we trade this peace away? In our fast-paced world, we're often encouraged to stay busy, to keep moving, to fill every quiet moment with productivity, with entertainment, with some form of distraction. There's a constant message that says we should always be doing, achieving, proving ourselves, and keeping up with everyone else. But this constant push for more success, more achievements, more validation can often come at the expense of our mental well-being. It leaves us exhausted, overstimulated, and at times feeling disconnected from what truly matters to us. And then there are the conflicts and challenges we face, sometimes from external sources, sometimes from within ourselves. People may say things that hurt us, push our buttons, or create stress, and we may find ourselves caught in a cycle of worry, doubt, or resentment. We play their words over and over in our minds, analyzing, questioning, and dwelling on what was said and what it might mean. We give them space in our minds, and that space over time can grow and take over. It clouds our peace, adding tension, and taking away from our ability to simply be. Imagine what it would be like to move through life without letting these external forces disturb your inner peace. To be so grounded and centered that no matter what words are thrown at you or what challenges arise, you remain anchored. This isn't about ignoring life's realities or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about cultivating a place within yourself that's unaffected by the noise, a place you can return to no matter what. It's a choice to prioritize your mental peace above the need to react, to defend, or to engage in battles that ultimately drain you. Mental peace is a treasure, it's a gift that allows us to experience life with clarity and gratitude. When we have peace of mind, we're able to appreciate the present, to connect with others more deeply, to understand ourselves better, and to make decisions that are aligned with our true values. Without peace, it's like trying to see through a fog. Everything becomes clouded, and we lose sight of what's truly meaningful. Sometimes holding on to our peace means learning to let go. Letting go of grudges, of past hurts, of the need to be right, or the desire for revenge or validation. These things may feel important in the moment, but they rarely bring us the sense of relief or fulfillment we think they will. Holding on to anger, resentment, or the need for justice in every small conflict only serves to keep us trapped in a cycle of negativity, allowing others' actions to dictate our emotional state. Choosing peace often means forgiving not because the other person deserves it, but because we deserve freedom from the weight of what they did. It means we can release our attachment to the past, let go of the pain, and step into a lighter, more present way of being. Forgiveness is a powerful way to reclaim our peace. It's a decision to no longer carry the heavy burden of resentment, to free ourselves from the emotional cage that resentment builds. And of course, holding on to our peace doesn't mean we allow others to mistreat us or that we tolerate every behavior. It simply means we choose our responses wisely. We can create boundaries that protect our peace, say no when we need to, and distance ourselves from situations or people that consistently disrupt our well-being. By setting these boundaries, we don't have to react to every situation. We preserve our energy and maintain our focus on what truly nurtures us. When we hold on to our mental peace, we can approach life from a place of wholeness and strength. We're able to be more compassionate, more patient, and more understanding because we're not constantly fighting against ourselves or others. We're grounded, calm, and in control of how we respond to the world. And this in turn allows us to offer more to the people around us, to bring a sense of calm and understanding into our relationships and interactions. So let's remember that our mental peace is not something to sacrifice. It's a choice we make every day in each interaction and with each thought we entertain. It's the decision to keep our minds clear, our hearts open, and our spirits unburdened. Because when we choose peace, we're not only enhancing our own lives, but we're also creating a ripple effect that touches everyone around us. And in this way, by nurturing our own peace, we contribute to a more peaceful world. Let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed in our lives, self-respect. It's a term that's thrown around a lot, but what does it really mean to hold on to self-respect? Self-respect isn't about ego, it's not about pride or trying to show the world how important we are. Self-respect is a quiet strength, an understanding of who we are, what we deserve, and the standards we set for ourselves. When we respect ourselves, we hold ourselves to those standards not out of stubbornness or fear of judgment, but because we know deep down that we're worth it. In life, we often encounter situations where our self-respect is tested. It might be in relationships, in our work, or even in the quiet moments when we're alone with our thoughts. There will be people who don't treat us the way we deserve to be treated, who overlook our value, or who might even try to convince us that we're worth less than we know ourselves to be. And it's in these moments, when our self-respect is under pressure, that we have to make a choice to stay true to ourselves or to compromise our values and beliefs to fit into someone else's vision. Holding on to self-respect is about refusing to settle, not in a way that's dismissive or judgmental of others, but in a way that honors our own worth. It's about not allowing ourselves to be manipulated, mistreated, or taken for granted. When we respect ourselves, we teach others how to treat us. People will take cues from the way we carry ourselves, from the boundaries we set, and from the things we say and do not tolerate. If we consistently show that we value ourselves, others will start to understand that if they want to be in our lives, they need to value us too. But self-respect also requires us to look inward, to evaluate our own actions and how they align with our values. It's not just about how others treat us, it's also about how we treat ourselves. Do we honor our own commitments? Do we follow through on what we say we'll do? Are we honest with ourselves, and do we allow ourselves to be the truest version of who we are? Self-respect asks us to look at these questions and to hold ourselves accountable, not in a harsh way, but in a way that encourages growth and self-awareness. Now, let's talk about the ways in which self-respect can be challenged. There are times when we're tempted to compromise for the sake of approval or acceptance. Maybe it's a job that asks us to do things that feel wrong to us, or a relationship that asks us to give up a part of us. In those moments, it's so easy to think, just this once, maybe I'll let it slide, but each time we compromise on our self-respect, we chip away at our own sense of worth. We send ourselves a message that perhaps our boundaries don't really matter, or that what we believe in isn't as important as what others think. Holding on to self-respect means saying no when necessary, even if that no comes with discomfort. It's about being brave enough to stand alone when that's what's called for, rather than standing in a crowd that doesn't align with our values. When we choose self-respect over the easy route, we're telling ourselves that we trust who we are, that we don't need external validation to feel whole, and that our worth doesn't depend on anyone's approval but our own. And yet, self-respect is also about kindness and understanding toward ourselves. We all make mistakes, we all have moments when we fall short of who we want to be. Self-respect means learning from these moments without tearing ourselves down. It means forgiving ourselves, being patient with our growth, and knowing that every step, even the missteps, are part of the journey. When we hold ourselves with compassion, we build a relationship with ourselves that is rooted in respect rather than self-criticism. Self-respect is a commitment, a promise to ourselves that we won't compromise on what truly matters. And as we move through life, that commitment shapes our experiences and the people we attract into our lives. When we respect ourselves, we attract others who respect us as well. We find ourselves in relationships that uplift us, in work that aligns with our values, and in situations that allow us to be fully, authentically ourselves.